The air in the Las Vegas arena was full of excitement. Everyone could feel something special was about to happen. The whole place was crowded with people, cheering, clapping, and buzzing with energy. Bright, colorful lights flashed everywhere, making the whole arena look like a rainbow. In the middle of the arena was a big, shiny boxing ring. The floor of the ring sparkled under the lights. Tonight wasn't just any normal fight. It was a very special match. It was a fun boxing event to help kids who didn't have much. Lots of famous people, big sports stars, and fans came from all over the world to watch and support the cause. They all wanted to help raise money for these kids. That made this night even more special. Right in the front row, sitting in the VIP area, was Jason Statham. He was a famous action movie star. People knew him from movies where he did cool stunts and brave things. Tonight, he wasn't here to fight. He was just watching the match. But even when he was just sitting, everyone noticed him. He looked really cool in his black suit. His eyes were focused on the ring, and he had a little smile on his face. Next to Jason was his partner, Elena. She looked very pretty and calm. She sat beside him quietly, holding his hand sometimes, smiling at the show around them. Everything around them was noisy and loud, but Elena was calm like a soft breeze. Jason liked being here. He wanted to support this good event. He wasn't fighting tonight, but his name helped make the event bigger. People came because they heard he would be there. Jason cared a lot about helping kids, just like the event was doing. But sometimes, things don't always go as planned. Sometimes, fate likes to surprise us. The biggest match of the night was about to begin. It was the main event that everyone was waiting for. In one corner was a retired boxing hero named Victor Iron Graves. He used to be a champion, and everyone knew his name. People said he was strong like steel. Even though he was older now, he was in his late 50s, he was still very big and strong. He had many scars on his face from all the fights he had won. Graves had a big heart too. He came from a tough neighborhood, but he worked hard and became a boxing star. He also helped kids by giving money to build gyms and teach them how to stay strong and kind. Jason really looked up to Graves. He met him once long ago at a training camp in London. Graves was kind, humble, and wise. He always said that discipline, that means working hard and being focused, was like a rope that helped him climb out of a dark place. That memory stayed in Jason's heart. Now, Graves was going to fight a young, strong MMA fighter named Jax Venom Mercer. Mercer was only 28 years old. He was fast, full of energy, and always ready to show off. He had won many fights in a row by knocking people out. He liked to brag a lot too. He smiled a lot, but not the kind of smile that made you feel warm. It was a proud, teasing smile. This fight was a big deal. It was like old wisdom versus young fire. Some fans were cheering for Graves, calling out his name. Others were cheering for Mercer, excited to see what the young star could do. The whole crowd was buzzing with noise. Then the announcer's voice came over the big speakers, making everyone shout louder. The match was about to begin. Jason leaned back in his seat. His fingers tapped on the armrest slowly. He was thinking about Graves. He had so much respect for him. Graves had worked hard, become a champion, and never forgot where he came from. He helped others and stayed kind. Jason admired that. He wanted to honor Graves just by being there. Then the bell rang. Ding, ding. The fight started. The crowd roared with excitement. Graves moved around the ring slowly but carefully. His feet stepped just right. His hands were up, ready to block punches. He looked calm and focused. Mercer, on the other hand, moved super fast. He bounced around like a spring, throwing little punches and kicking lightly. He was testing Graves, trying to find a weak spot. The first round was like a game of chess. They were both smart fighters, trying to understand each other. But when the bell rang again for the second round, everything changed. Mercer began acting silly. He dropped his hands and danced around, making fun of Graves. He laughed and shouted, "Come on, old man," loud enough for everyone in the front rows to hear. "You're too old for this. Go back to the nursing home." Some people in the crowd laughed, but many gasped. That was not nice. It was very rude. Graves didn't say anything. His face stayed serious like a stone statue. But Jason's jaw got tight. He leaned forward in his chair, and his smile disappeared. He didn't like what he was hearing. Elena saw the change in him and gently put her hand on his arm, trying to calm him. But Mercer didn't stop. He kept teasing and saying mean things. He made fun of Graves' age. He said bad things about the way he fought. He even joked about the good things Graves had done for kids. "You think you're a hero?" Mercer sneered. "You're just a washed-up man living in the past." That was too much. It wasn't just fighting anymore. It was mean. Jason knew what Mercer was doing. He was trying to make Graves angry, so he would lose focus. But this wasn't smart. It was cruel. It was not the way a real champion should act. In the third round, Mercer started to win. He was younger and quicker. He kicked Graves in the legs over and over, making the older man slower. Graves still punched hard, but he was tired now. He was breathing heavily. People in the crowd could feel the change. Mercer was taking control of the fight. Then it happened. Mercer landed a big uppercut punch, BM. Graves' head snapped back. But he stayed standing. He didn't fall. The crowd cheered and gasped at the same time. Mercer turned around, not to finish the fight, but to show off again. He raised his arms like he already won. He smiled and soaked in the cheers. Then he pointed at Graves. "This guy's a fake," he shouted. "He's just an old man pretending to be strong. He can't even stand up straight anymore." The crowd got quiet. It was like someone turned the volume down. Then, Mercer looked toward the VIP section. He found Jason Statham. He locked eyes with him. "And what's this?" he shouted again. "Hollywood's tough guy sitting pretty in a fancy suit. You going to cry for your hero, Statham? Maybe you should stick to your fake movie fights." Everyone gasped again. The air in the arena felt frozen. It was like thunder was about to strike. Mercer had crossed a line. Jason's little smile was gone now. His face became serious. Elena held his arm tightly, but Jason slowly moved her hand away. He stood up. The crowd saw him rise. He didn't shout. He didn't wave. He just stood there, tall and quiet like a storm cloud. The crowd made soft sounds, like whispers and gasps. Everyone looked around as a man walked toward the fighting ring. He wasn't just anyone. He was a famous movie star. His name was Jason Statham. The people who worked as guards didn't know what to do. They weren't sure if they should stop him or let him go. But Jason kept walking, calm and cool. Jason was strong and brave. Every step he took was slow and serious, like a lion walking through the jungle. He wasn't scared. He walked up the stairs and climbed into the ring. He looked straight at a younger fighter named Mercer. Mercer had been acting tough before, but now he looked scared. He didn't expect Jason to come. Another man, named Graves, was in the ring too. He was older and out of breath, his chest going up and down fast. He had been fighting Mercer before Jason showed up. Graves looked at Jason with surprise and a little smile, happy to see him. But Jason waved his hand, like saying, "It's okay. I'll take care of this." Jason shook his head and spoke with a quiet, serious voice. Even though he didn't shout, everyone could hear him in the silent arena. He said, "You don't talk to a legend like that, kid." The man who watches over the fight, the referee, could feel something big was about to happen. He held up his hands to pause the match. Mercer, trying to look brave again, made a mean face. He said loudly, "What? You think you can fight me, movie star? This is real. Not a movie. You'll get hurt." Jason didn't look scared at all. He slowly took off his jacket. Underneath, you could see his strong muscles. The crowd gasped and then cheered loudly. Half of them were shocked. The other half were excited. People used to think Jason was just an actor in action movies. But he had trained for many, many years. He knew kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and Wing Chun. These were all special kinds of fighting. He never had a real fight in front of a big crowd, but people close to him knew he could fight for real. The people who ran the show didn't know this would happen. They started talking quickly, trying to figure out what to do. The announcer, the person who talks to the crowd on the microphone, saw something exciting happening. He picked up the mic and said loudly, "Ladies and gentlemen, something amazing is happening. Jason Statham is going to fight right now. The whole crowd went wild. Everyone pulled out their phones to take pictures and videos. Graves walked to the side of the ring. He looked at Jason and nodded. It was a quiet way of saying thank you and good luck. Then he stepped out of the ring, letting Jason take his place. Mercer didn't have a way out now. He had been so loud and rude earlier. If he backed down, he would look scared. So he had to fight. The referee told them the rules. He said, 3 minutes. No trying to knock each other out. Just a friendly spar to settle this. Then the bell rang, ding ding. And the fight began. Mercer ran at Jason fast. He threw wild punches, trying to show that he was stronger. But Jason was quick and smooth. He moved around like a shadow, slipping past Mercer's fists. His feet moved perfectly, like he had practiced every day. Jason waited for just the right moment. Then, POW. He hit Mercer with a fast punch. Mercer didn't see it coming. Jason then kicked Mercer in the leg, thump, and Mercer stumbled. The crowd screamed in excitement. Jason didn't look angry. He moved like a master, calm and smart. Every step, every hit was just right. He didn't waste any movement. He looked like he had done this his whole life. Mercer got mad. He tried to throw a big, sloppy punch. But Jason ducked quickly. He grabbed Mercer's arm and, whoosh, flipped him over with a perfect judo move. Mercer hit the mat with a thud. The crowd went even crazier. People were shouting and cheering. Some couldn't believe what they were seeing. Mercer got back up. His face was red. Not just from the fight, but from feeling embarrassed. He had talked so much earlier, and now he was losing in front of everyone. He rushed at Jason again, trying to win. But Jason was ready. He spun around and, BAM, kicked Mercer right in the chest. Mercer fell backward, the air knocked out of him. He lay there, gasping. The referee quickly stepped in. He waved his arms and said, "Stop. That's enough." The fight was over. Everyone in the crowd stood up. They were cheering so loud you could barely hear anything else. People started chanting, "Stay them! Stay them! Stay them!" But Jason didn't smile or wave. He didn't act like a winner. Instead, he walked over to Mercer and held out his hand. He wanted to help him up. Jason spoke softly, "Respect the game." His voice wasn't mean. It was strong and kind at the same time. And respect the people who built it. Mercer looked up. He was tired, sore, and embarrassed. But he took Jason's hand and stood up. He nodded quietly. He understood now. Jason stepped out of the ring. Graves walked over to him and put a strong hand on his shoulder. His voice was full of feelings. He said, "You didn't have to do that." Jason gave a little smile and said, "I couldn't let him talk to you like that, mate. You're the real deal." Graves and Jason looked at each other. They didn't need to say more. They understood each other. They both loved the sport. They both cared about respect. Elena, Jason's wife, was waiting by the ropes. She looked at him with big eyes. She was proud, but also a little worried. She whispered, "You're impossible." But she smiled, because she was proud of him. That night, there wasn't an official winner in the ring. But something more important happened. Jason didn't fight to be the best. He fought to stand up for a good man, a legend named Graves. Someone who had spent his whole life helping others in the sport. Someone Jason had looked up to since he was a boy. That night, the event raised millions of dollars for charity. But that wasn't the biggest story. The biggest story was about respect. About two men from different worlds, one a movie star, one a real fighter, showing what it means to honor the sport and each other. As Jason and Elena walked out of the arena, the crowd was still cheering. Jason looked back at the ring one more time. Graves was standing in the middle, his hands in the air, smiling. The fans were still cheering for him too. Jason felt something in his heart. He felt like a little kid again, watching his hero. And he knew something true. Some legends never fade. Enjoyed the story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I always love chatting with you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next wild ride. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, stay curious and keep the adventure alive.